Sorry about the glare, guys, but I'm going to give a quick tutorial video for Metroid Prime 3 Corruption. As in all Wii games, you point your controller at the screen and move it to the edges in order to look around. It'll give you interactive things like if you put your cursor on something, you can push the A button to activate it, and then you can push the B button to deactivate it, or exit or whatever. Now for this part, we need to push the A button on the blinking items. Usually on this game they indicate what items you're trying to use by making noises or beeping or buzzing or something. As also you can look around, there's these buttons along the side that can help you with things.
Unidentified vessel, please switch to a secure radio frequency and transmit your identity code. We're standing by.
Yeah, I'm just playing around here. This is one of the side items I'll show you in the ship. And as you see, they have these arrows right around here that you can click, and they'll give you the instructions that you need to put down. For the ones that pop up like this, you push the A button to push buttons and the B button to exit completely. So just copy down the codes that they have written here.
Transmission verified. Greetings, Samus.
And I'll probably skip through most of the storylines for the demos and stuff, but all of this is interactive.
Command ship Olympus. You've been cleared for docking bay 5. Welcome back, Samus.
Okay, now you have this over here, which you activate and then you push again. And this one, it tells you in order to activate, you push your Wii remote forwards, and they have a lot of interactive things like that in this game. And I'll skip through this part probably. Okay, now for another thing. In order to walk around, use your joystick. That's obvious. To look around, use the same things. Oh, shut up. And to fire, you push the A button. To jump, you push the B button. These are all defaults. You have the option to change them in your personal settings, which I'll show you in a second. To lock on things, if they have this target indicator here, you can push the Z button, which is basically the trigger button on your left hand or on your joystick hand if you want to do the opposites. But you can do that and it'll automatically select that so that you instantly face it no matter what you do off screen. But it makes it easier to target in on something. And you can do it faster by once it's done you can instantly let go and target another one.
Calibration complete. Samus, welcome to the flagship Olympus. Admiral Dane is waiting for you.
This is your map, which is in your items. It's the automatic pickup. Let me show you how to access it. When you move around and interact with it, you can push the 1 button to activate your menus. At first, this right here is the map indicator, this one up on the top here. This right here is your logbook, which houses information on basically everything, including your research and things you scan, which I'll tell you about in a little bit. It also tells you about information about all of your items. If you don't know how to use something that you have, come here. It helped me out a lot in the game that I played. Also, you can come here and change your settings for sound and other things. You can also quit the game from this menu to make it a safer quit, that is. But you have to get to a save room in order to save the game, so don't try logging off before you save, or else you'll lose everything that you've done before your last save. Like if I were to quit before I get to the save room up ahead, then I basically would have to start and do all this over again. Another interactive thing is the plus button activates hyper mode, but you only unlock that later on in the game. The minus button, if you hold it down, activates this mode, which is your visors. This up here is your scan, which if you use it, you'll find objects that if you put your cursor on you can scan. You can hold down the Z button and you scan it, and then you let it go and you do that. And you can use the information that you find in that to help you fight against things or otherwise. Also, with this game on doors, you shoot them to open them. For people who haven't played before, you can scan it and it'll tell you basically the same thing. Also, for interactive parts, it's hard to not to know, but things that are blue are things that you haven't scanned that are just normal. Things that are green, say after I scan this, that guy turns green, I've already scanned something like that. If it's red, it means it's important, and you should read what they tell you to read under that. The next visor is turned offline for the first part of the game, and this allows you to basically drop your ship or tell it to do airstrikes or stuff. And they'll give you hints and indicators for that too. Another thing is your other visor over here, which you'll learn about later on in the game, and I'll probably do another segment later on about that as well. But that's basically it for that. In order to change it back, you push, when you're in this mode, you can either push the A button, or you can just go back and hit the center of the screen. Here's some basic things. You can jump around and fire while you're jumping. You can lock onto targets and move around and fire at them to dodge bullets. You can hold down the A button to charge a blast, which does a lot more damage than a regular one. And I'll show you later on for missiles and other objects. And see here, you can lock onto this, but since it's not doing anything with one regular shot, you hold it down and it activates that. And it activates it and allows you to go on to the next room. They have a lot of puzzles like this around the game. So that's just basically what it's like. And that's pretty much it for this basic part. I'll get some more things in later and I'll show you about advanced things you can do. But that's basically it. So thank you. Let's give you your first taste of combat. In order to fire at the enemies, you can fire at them without aiming at all, or you can click on them with the left target button, hold it down and fire at them as well, and you'll be able to aim at them easier, or so it's said. It says right now how to do that. You also get an achievement if you save these guys. You can hold down and also fire. The closer you are, usually the easier it is to save them. These guys are metal bots. You can charge down and shoot them with one blast and they'll be down no matter what.
I'm fine. Don't worry about me. Get down to your ship. Go!
Now I'll probably cut out of this right about now because you don't get any items. Okay, now we're about to have a lot of really annoying enemies. I still don't know how she just happens to notice it, because they're nearly soundless, these creatures are. These ones take one shot and they're dead, but there's so many of them and they blow up on contact. Focus on these guys. If you just keep moving, these ones are have a hard time hitting you. Here we go. Now, there's one more ability that we're about to tell you about. On your trigger finger as well is your C button. You push the C button to go into ball form, which allows you to go into these locations that normally you wouldn't be able to. And moving around is the same way. It's just you don't use your trigger hand for anything. In order to lay charges, you push the A button and it explodes. You can use that to jump or to destroy things. And that's kind of what an energy tank looks like. You'll find those around. Now you could push that A button and use an explosive charge to do that, or you could jump without one by simply flicking your controller upwards. This method is very effective if you're trying to do it in a special way. And that's it for this part.